This video might get a little spicy, but whatever, it's gonna be fun. Today I want to talk about an article that came out recently about toxic fandom. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sure I'm gonna have some very reasonable people in these comments. Variety wrote an article a couple weeks ago detailing how studios are dealing with toxic fandoms with different franchises with Lord of the Rings, Marvel, Star Wars, you know, all the big ones. And the way that they're handling it is all very aggravating. Fandoms are out of fucking control with social media, with attacking people, with even doxing people, I guess. And this is something that's not really new, right? Like Jake Lloyd got bullied when Star Wars Episode 1 came out. Ahmed Best got bullied a lot when Episode 1 came out. So it's nothing new, but social media is new, and social media recently has been used as a weapon. And social media has been around for a little bit, but I think when it really started to be utilized as a weapon and when it really started to work on these studios was around The Last Jedi. Whether you like The Last Jedi or not, I think that movie is a pivot point in our industry. I think that after that movie came out, after the reaction to that movie, studio filmmaking changed forever, because that's when studios started to get really, really afraid. And they became so afraid that they started having these crazy super fans in mind. And when I refer to like super fans, I'm not referring to people who just like stuff a lot, right? Like most of these fans are normal fucking people. I'm referring mainly to like the man babies, the woman babies, if you want to be inclusive, who bitch about shit on Twitter, who review bomb shit just because like they didn't like a kid's TV show.
Which the movies are for children, but they didn't want to admit that.
But these studios started having these super fans in mind when they started crafting their movies after The Last Jedi came out. And that is how I believe we got The Rise of Skywalker. And because they tried to please them, no one was happy. I'm sorry if you enjoyed the movie. I personally did not. If you enjoyed it, happy for you, but man, we really got something else with that movie. And we always thought that The Rise of Skywalker was changed and courses were pivoted just to please these super fans, right? Like, I don't understand how we go from Rey's parents are nobodies to, oh no, she's actually a Palpatine this whole time. Woohoo. It just reeks of changing everything to please these super fans. We always kind of knew that studios were like trying to please these fandoms, but now there's proof. In this article, it details that studios are literally meeting with super fan groups and telling them what they want to do with the movie and like telling them what their plans are. And they will literally shut down certain ideas, saying like, oh no, the fans are going to be pissed. You can't do that type of thing. And this just royally pisses me off. Like the fact that all these people yapping about like how much they hate the fucking Acolyte on Twitter are actually kind of having a say in the creative process is absolutely ridiculous. And there's so many reasons why they shouldn't be involved. One, it's proven that it's a very tiny minority who actually feel this way. In the article, it literally states that like, yeah, most fans are just casual people. They're just normal people who enjoy stuff, or sometimes they don't enjoy stuff, but they don't go raging about it online. And it's all just a tiny little minority. So it's so freaking small. Two, they're gonna watch it anyway. No matter what it is, no matter how terrible they fucking hate it, they're still gonna watch. The Last Jedi still made $1 billion. The Rise of Skywalker, even though they hated The Last Jedi, still made $1 billion. They're still gonna watch stuff. I guarantee you that they watched The Acolyte even though they fucking hated it. They still watched every single episode. And that's what studios need to care about, just watching stuff, because Disney needed all the help they could get with The Acolyte. You want to know how I know they're going to watch it anyway? I made a very small video about The Acolyte like a month ago, and I'm very, very small, right? Like, I was even smaller back when I made that video, and I had just a flood of people commenting on this video about how much they fucking hated The Acolyte, and yet they knew so much about the plot, they knew all the details, they knew so much about the character arcs, so they clearly will watch something that they even fucking hate. So you don't need to worry about them not watching it. And the main reason why I don't think they should give a fuck about them is because you're not going to make great stories trying to please everyone. In recent years, we've gotten the most like generic, middle of the road, cookie cutter, trying to please everyone. It was designed by an algorithm, made in a factory type movies and TV shows. And why do you think that is? It's because of shit like this. They're trying to please everyone, including this incredibly small minority. And when they try to do that, we just get these generic middle of the road movies that we've been getting, and no one's really happy. They've literally changed things just because of these super fans. Like, it's in the article that if it's before the movie is being filmed, they can change it. If you want a good movie and a good story, maybe don't listen to the people who have the most dog shit, uncreative opinions I've ever read. Have you ever read a Reddit thread or read fan fiction? It's fucking terrible. You should not be taking any advice from these people. These people are just uncreative in general, and you know, some of them are fucking racist. Sorry, they're not racist. They just want a good story, right? That doesn't include Amanda Stenberg or Tiana Paris or Moses Ingram or... Wait a minute. And there's no pleasing these people in general, right? George Lucas could come back tomorrow. He won't because he fucking hates these superfans. He does. But he could come back tomorrow, everyone would cheer, everyone would be so happy about it, then he would make a movie, and then they would still fucking hate it. You wanna know how I know that? Because it already did, where George Lucas came back, made episode 1, and then these little fucking assholes bullied Ahmed Best to nearly kill himself. So there's no point in trying to please these people who just rage against shit, hate watching it, and yet they can't stop watching it. I've never really understood raging about shit on social media in general. Like, if I say I enjoyed The Acolyte, and then you're like, oh no, it actually sucked. Like, okay, my opinion's not going to be fucking changed because of some random person on the internet. You're never going to convince me that I didn't enjoy something I clearly did. Just like how I'm not going to convince you that if you hated something, you actually enjoyed it. Like, what's the end game? It's fine to not like something, like, that's gonna happen, but to rage online about it, it's so fucking childish. Like, no one's forcing you to watch it. Just stop watching it. Like, I don't understand why you just keep watching shit that you fucking hate. Unless you're a reviewer, which is a very, very loose term, especially in today's age with YouTube and stuff. Stop watching it. No one's forcing you to do it. Or just don't rage online about it. Like, there's no point. The show is done. The movies are done. There's no point to this. And either something will find an audience or it won't. That's like the main thing. Even if you fucking hate it, if it still has an audience, it's still going to be successful and you're going to see more of it. Or if you do hate it and no one watches it, then you won't see anything more of it. Your little comments aren't going to actually affect how well the show does or does not do. For instance, I really didn't enjoy the newest season of True Detective, but did I rage online about it? No, I didn't. One, because I have a fully functioning brain, so I didn't do it. But two, what's it going to change? The show has already been filmed. Nothing that I say or do is going to change it. It either will find an audience or it won't. And it did find an audience. People liked it. People found it and enjoyed it. And I'm just not part of that audience. And that's fucking fine. Not everything is made for me, just like not everything is made for you. Anyways, we're going off on a tangent here. Why are people listening to these guys? The only studio that seems to be actually doing something about this is Amazon, which ironic because they have so many human rights violations against them, but they actually backed their actors. Rings of Power was absolutely railed against by racists and misogynists, but Amazon backed their actors up. They backed up their decisions. Hell, they even had the original trilogy actors come in and help them out too. They're the only studio that really backed their actors up when like all these fucking racists and shit just came and flooded their social media. Which is more than Disney can say since they didn't do jack shit with any of the Acolyte actors, any of the Marvels actors, or their director, Nia. And Jodie Turner-Smith just came out and said, yeah, they didn't do shit. And this makes me believe that the video Ewan McGregor did when Obi-Wan came out.
I've decided to attack Moses Ingram online and send her the most horrendous racist DMs. Moses is a brilliant actor. She's a brilliant woman, and it just sickened me to my stomach to hear that this had been happening. We stand with Moses. We love Moses. And if you're sending her bullying messages, you're no Star Wars fan in my mind.
I fully believe Disney had nothing to do with that. They've done nothing for any of their actors in the past or futures except for that one little moment. So I think that was all Ewan. But man, like I hope studios act more like Amazon. Like I never thought I would say that, but I hope these studios stop listening to these toxic fans and start backing up their actors and backing up their projects like Amazon did. Because there's no pleasing these people. They're a very small minority, and if you do try to please them, you're just gonna make some middle-of-the-road stories that just don't please anyone. And if there are any super fans watching, like, try loving something just 10% as much as you hate something, and I guarantee you your life will get so much better. It's so much more fun in life to just focus on what you love rather than focus on what you hate. Just try it. And let me know what you guys think about this whole ordeal. Let me know what you guys think about studios changing stories just to please these really small toxic fans. And let me know what you guys think about this whole situation. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'm assuming I'm going to get some hate on this video since I'm dealing with some very reasonable Star Wars fans. But if you did enjoy yourself, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I make a new video every week or so. So I'll see you in the next one.